guys, Coach Krause here. Today, I'm going to go over some very basic beginning tactics and techniques in terms of fighting a southpaw, fighting somebody who is left-handed, or at least the opposite the opposite dominant hand to you know. So I'm right-handed, and my outlaw Maria Ortega here is a southpaw, is a left-handed, but we won't hold it against her because nobody's perfect. No, I'm joking, right? It's actually a tremendous advantage for her because while the majority of the time that I come into the gym, I'm training and drilling with other right-handed people, guess what? So is she. So we both get good at drilling and sparring with right-handed people, but both of us also have a problem with the left-handed person because we just don't get a chance to practice as much with the left-handed person. So that's like a big portion of the advantage that lays in being the opposite-handed to your opponent. Right off the bat, get in your stance. You are not a mirror image of your southpaw counterpart. You see she's here in a good boxing stance because she trains at Outlaws Boxing, but I'm not going to do the same to her and just try to mimic her like I'm looking in a mirror. I need to adjust my tactics to meet her advantages. So a big shot that is very unexpected to me is her right hook, or all her right hands for that matter, right? So what I want to do is I want to be a little bit more square in terms of her as a left-handed opponent as I would to somebody who's conventional. So when I'm a little bit more square, she throws the jab, I have the parry, she throws the hook, and I have the block of the hook. That's a deadly punch that I need to worry about. And if I was the mirror image of her with this kind of angle, and she threw that hook, it's very difficult for me to defend against that shot. But when I square up a little bit more, I can have that block against that hook. Now she's got a straight left hand, which is also a very deadly shot in terms of me. So I want to be able to have a parry of that shot, similar to when I was parrying the jab of a conventional fighter, or tucking in for blocking that shot. I definitely want to worry about this kind of unique angle. The difference is, though, because of my conventional opponent's jab that I train all the time, at least I'm a bit used to seeing straight lefts come at me. That right hook, on the other hand, is a very unorthodox shot. Okay, so I want to be a little bit more square so I can parry when I need to parry. I can block the hook when I need to block the hook, and I can block that straight left when I throw the straight left, all right? Now also when I'm a little bit more square, I can come around her guard a bit easier when I throw my own hooks and when I throw my own straight shot. And speaking specifically about the straight shot, let's talk about this foot placement advantage that so many people talk about, of keeping your foot on the outside of your southpaw opponent. And it is an advantage, and let me explain why. If she had her foot on the outside, and now I want to land my straight right hand, it's impossible from this position for me to throw it straight. The only way I'm going to get it off is to loop it. Her on the other side with her foot on the outside of mine, when she throws her straight shot, it's exactly that, as straight as it can be. Now if I could switch positions, if I can get on the outside, now you see that my straight shot is right down the middle of her guard, where her straight shot has to take an elongated path, a little bit more elliptical. And you know what? It's going to take her another 1,000th of a second to get there compared to mine. It's not a huge advantage, but it is an advantage. But I've seen plenty of people with their foot on the outside lose, and with their foot on the inside win, so don't think it's the end-all, be-all, all right? Also, you constantly hear that you want to circle away from your opponent's left hand and keep pivoting out. You know, this is true if they have a good left hand, but what if they have a good right hook? You'd be circling right into that punch. So I feel like that's a little bit too much broad-based advice to just take for granted that their left hand is going to be their dominant shot, not compared to their hook. You want to feel them out, right? Speaking of feeling out process, and Maria just got done sparring a conventional fighter, and it's always a little awkward in the beginning getting that jab off because it just doesn't fit in the same position like it does versus a like-handed person. So you need to remember that the jab is not always designed to land. We just established I want to get my foot on the outside, so maybe as I throw the jab, I can position my foot out there, and she can defend it, but she doesn't know that really my motive was just to get in this position. So maybe that first jab just gets my foot on the outside, and then I can have like a right hand, left hook combination off that position. The jab, even though it didn't land, being what put me in position for that shot. Talking specifically about that parry, when she throws the jab, I want to knock it laterally. I want to not get hit in the face. So the amount of movement necessary for me to make that happen, there, that's it. That shot is now going to miss it. This shot will hit me, and with this much movement, the shot misses me. And in terms of economy of effort, that's what I want to try to master. Throw that jab at me. How little can I do to make this shot land? Or to miss, I'm sorry. Also, you notice it's in the palm of my hand. I'm a big proponent of that. Because eventually, you know, you're going to be throwing your own shots and you'll want some sort of control. You won't just want to whack it away with your knuckles. Got that foot on the outside, trying to line up my straight shot. I got my jab that's helping me get in position. I got my parry. I got my blocks. The body shot, when I used to fight, I had a good left hook to the body, and I liked boxing with Southpaws because I could counter their jab with my body shot, which was always an effective shot for me. Maria, on the other hand, that same lead shot, it doesn't hit me in the liver. While I don't want to get hit anywhere, and that body shot could definitely hurt me, my liver is on the other side, so for the Southpaw, the left hook to the body is the liver shot. So you want to remember that. And you as a Southpaw want to get good at throwing that at a long range, which is awkward. So you want to try to come around my elbow there, let's go on this side. You're trying to get around that in a long range. Very nice, okay? That same kind of long range unorthodox rear shot can come around my guard with a 4 to the head. Same kind of concept. It's just a shot that I'm not used to seeing, all right? So, some basic things versus my Southpaw opponent, a little bit more square. Being ready for that lead hook, because it's so unorthodox for me to see. Or for that matter, the rear hook. That comes from an awkward angle, okay? Understanding that the jab isn't gonna feel as natural as it usually does when you're with your like hand person. So I use that jab a lot of times just to position my foot where I want it to be to get more advantageous shots off. We also know that my left hook to the body, it's going to be a very effective shot versus the Southpaw because her liver is now so much closer to me as opposed to the other stance. But I need to watch out for that weird rear hook because that can be a very devastating shot. And guys like, you know, Manny Pacquiao, Winky Wright, great Southpaws of the day. Winky Wright, who is right-handed, by the way, have really perfected this shots, okay? And really trying your best to get in there with as many Southpaws, as many left-hand people as possible to just kind of gain that experience because like we spoke about in the beginning, really the advantage of my Southpaw opponent is that she just has a whole lot of practice boxing with me, right-handed person, and I just don't have as much time under my belt as boxing with that left-hand person.
Like and subscribe.